Hello ladies and gents, welcome back to our playthrough of Galactic Civilisations for Supernova Warlords DLC as the Zolotzi. Okay, so what is the shape of things right now? We are almost about to finish Hyperwave Radio and we're going to proceed all the way down the governance tree here. We're going to go all the way down to Interstellar Cabinet. That's going to unlock for us some pretty fancy warships that we're going to use to start a fight with somebody. Probably it's going to be the YOR first, I think, are the people that we will make war with, but that all really sort of depends on the navigators as well and how aggressive they want to be. Meanwhile, in preparation for that, we're trying to get as many people on board and on our side as possible. But for the moment, that is our plan. We would like to get some allies or at least some friends. We might actually start publicly declaring friendships as soon as we can sort of know what the other factions think about each other. In our shipyards, we are building a constructor and a freighter. We're going to get up some more trade routes with these guys to make friends. We'll have to find the humans to trade with them as well. We might temporarily trade with the navigators just to hold them off while we are dealing with the YOR. All considerations that we can have. But I think this turn has been wrapped up. Let's send it forward and see what happens. There's our hyperwave radio. We get another policy to enact and some cultural related stuff to build, but that's fine. Now we wanted to go for leadership recruiting, I believe was the next one, unless there's something particularly pressing that we want. I mean, getting the space elevators could help us with some of our production. It's only 2 turns, but we do kind of would like to beeline that warship and get this war going ASAP. So we're going to go for leadership recruiting. We have another policy. It's probably going to be genius grants. It's going to hurt our income, which is already sort of tanking, but the extra research is going to help us get through this tree a little bit. Now, which one do we want? Genius grants or research grants? They both essentially do the same thing, right? This is just going to give us a +1 research with a gross income of -10%. This is giving us a +20% to our research with a -10% gross income. And if you see over here with this plugged in, we're 26 and -7.47. Swap them out, 27 for the same amount. So we're going to go for research grants. Apparently that's better than the genius grants with our current setup. So we'll go with that one. We're at 88%. Can we go up to medium? We can. It'll cost us a little bit of research and production and not for too much of a monetary gain. So we'll probably just leave this on normal until our approval gets up a little bit more. There is our explorer for that last technology. We'll send that out to survey and explore for us. We need a thing to build on Savo. I think it's time to get up a couple siege vessels, as they do take a little bit of time to get out, and we're going to need a few of them if we're going to go to war. But we're not that far away from enacting our plan, so I'm going to start producing siege vessels right now. This constructor we're going to send out over here to pick up this Promethean. There's also some Illyrium, and we don't have access to that either at the moment. We have Thulium, we've got Promethean, having some Illyrium, which you will need for certain devices on your ship, certain ships as well. Military upgrades, Illyrium is pretty important, so we're going to go ahead and grab that instead, as this Durantium is safely in our borders. The AI can't have it, it's mine. Other than that, other resources that we might look to pick up, I think there's only just one really. We would like this Ascension Crystal at some point, so that is a minor priority. I would very much like a better governor for this planet. I mean, this is all okay and fine and all, but we can do better. If we recruit, say, this person here, this is just a straight better governor. Shadowless Relic carries around an enigmatic Shadowless artifact. Failed med school. It doesn't like talking about it. And I think this is... Oh, you are really, really good. Damn, look at you. Extensive criminal record. Was erased by government contract. Now, the thing is that your loyalty is not amazing, but you would make an amazing minister. We also have Minister of Tourism, but that's not really going to help us out too much. Our governors are fine for the most part, but it seems really hard to pass up on a leader that is just this good. And we might go a little bit broke doing this. It's not like we're the richest people in the world, but let's pick up these 2 governors. We'll find a use for them. We might use you as the captain of our ships when the time comes, for this particular ship, in fact. Now, this ship also has fighters, which are very, very strong early on. We also have kinetic attacks. We have a graviton gun on this thing as well. It's not just that it has fighters, but it also has a pretty nasty weapon. It's a very useful ship overall, as well as just a huge amount of hit points. We have our 2 leaders. Let's go ahead and plop one in here. You are fired. We can execute +1 intimidation. They'll take a loyalty penalty, however. All right, you're fired. They're probably not gonna like that too much, but guess what? Doesn't matter. And now you're in and everything is looking a little bit better on that planet, which I love. And of course, we have a spare leader here that we could use for all sorts of stuff. You can go ahead and be a diplomat for us. Let's say go in here and hang out with the Terran Alliance, start getting us a little bit of diplomacy favor. We could stick them in here to possibly go out there, and it's got quite a lot of attack and armor. It's not a bad idea maybe to get another capital ship to help with the war. Also increases our crime. I don't know if I prefer having you as a diplomat. I think we might actually take this capital ship. Let's just grab the capital ship. We're going to take this capital ship. It's plus 10% crime to neutral and enemy worlds in range. We're not going to use that immediately. So for the moment, you are going to hang out over here and wait for the bugles to sound. You're going to be the captain of our next ship. Okay, that's all done. Money's looking pretty terrible at the moment, but if we need to, we can sell off something, keep ourselves afloat. But those two purchases were a little costly. Anyways, we will make do. We will find a way somehow. There's our freighter first, and we're going to send him out to, I'm guessing we're going to trade with this world. It's the only one in range. We do need to increase our range a little bit if we hope to make any kind of a war. Back on Savo, we have got some new things to build. Coordination beacon, don't think we need it. Heritage Center, also, we don't need it. Enforcer Den, we don't need it. So we'll probably just increase our manufacturing. That'll take 7 turns, and we'll get a manufacturing district over here. Population is looking good. Everything on this planet is looking fine. We'll just continue to throw up manufacturing plants all over the place. Our probe is out here hunting for your territory, and it looks like we found it. Alhana, who gave us a freighter, probably a good idea to just get another freighter. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll probably switch over to just like fighter, gunboat, defender production. This world's production is not great, but once it gets some more population, maybe we can specialize some of its pops. Any of you have good stats for manufacturing? I believe it's diligence for manufacturing. You've got a 4. That's not terrible. And you've got a 5. You could make some decent workers. You're very happy now. You're at 76. That's good. This world is looking much better. We're at 86% approval. We can get that up a little bit more would be great. We're still on the fence of what to do with this world, but I'm happy just to get a bit more food going on this planet and housing, get a big population, and just use whatever land we can for whatever bonuses we can. That'll be the play. There's leadership recruiting, giving us invite leaders, tax exemptions, max enacted policies, and of course, moving on to Interstellar Cabinet as soon as possible. Still some good stuff popping up here, but we're rushing it. For our other enacted policies, it's going to be Genius Grants. And once we have this next technology, we'll probably swap these out for things that are going to give us money, things that are going to increase our production, such as Shipyard Stimulus. That's going to help a lot. Starship Specifications for extra HP. All of these things are possible once we have finished this technology. Interstellar Cabinet, big one for us. Encounter with a robotic star drone. Your flagship captain reports discovering a lost cargo container floating around in the void. Upon opening, they reveal a mysterious robotic star drone with advanced technological capabilities. When this drone is deployed, it acts as a small but lethal ship in battle. This could prove useful or profitable. We could gain a robotic star drone, a lethal weapons drone. That does sound interesting and something that we might need, but we also really need credits. It's only 100 credits. So give me the drone. I don't know what this is. Let's go ahead and put this on Savo. We got a gunboat, little corvette. Got ourselves a baby corvette. Lethal, maybe. It's got star cannons. A little upgrade right there. Not a bad little gunboat. Okay, now we could pressure scientists, but we are still saving our control in case we find any pirates that we can purchase. Now the potential for the YOR to declare war on us could happen any day. This is degrading extremely quickly. Okay, this constructor, we have some Illyrium. I'm going to push you further up. Maybe there's some more resources that we don't know about. A little bit further up. I guess not. Well, that will do. Give me a mining starbase. Construct it. This is also going to give us extra cost, but hopefully it's going to pay itself off eventually. We can sell off that Illyrium if we need to on the market. It would only sell for 47 bucks at the moment, but if we need to, we can do those things. I would really like to fix our economy a little bit, and I'm still leaning towards doing something with money on this planet. There's just not that many tiles. Shadowless Relic governor is giving us a minus to our penalty here. Why? Carries around an enigmatic shadowless artifact. Well, that sort of hurts our approval on this planet, and so do you. Now, you're giving us a little bit to manufacturing, plus 0.5 just doesn't seem worth it. Your diligence is really bad. So we're going to go in here and retrain you as a citizen, presumably. You have a much better resolve, so you'll just be an overall happier citizen if we do that. As your specialists, guys, have a higher expectations of 21. Regular citizens, for example, won't have that high an expectation of 11. So you can increase her happiness just by making her not be that. And she's not very useful as a worker anyway. So let's swap her over to a citizen. Scientist, maybe? You'd be an okay scientist, but I think you'd just be happier as a citizen for now. So we'll swap you over to a citizen. That does increase her happiness just that little bit. And we should be fine here. All right, we've got 4 turns until the real mustering of forces begins. All right, we have found the YOR base. What do they have? They've got a bomber on the defense. Let's have a look at it. He's got a plus 50% AI difficulty bonus. He's got rockets, mostly missile attacks, and a bit of armor and shields, which we don't have. By the way, we're going to need some tech. YOR has incurred a significant debt for the Terrans. Your name was used as collateral, and it's certainly an insignificant sum to you. I trust you will pay this debt and keep YOR out of harm's way. We can't afford it. Do as you must to YOR. We lose 1 relations. No, and any aggression towards YOR will be met with war. Damn. Okay, minus 8 relations. We pay the debt. We can't afford it. I really want to pay this debt. Is there any way we can scrap together that cash? We could potentially sell off. That's 40. That's 100. That's 140. That's not quite going to get us there. And we'd have to get broke. So it looks like we're taking a little bit of a negative penalty here with the Terrans. We can't afford it. Do as you must. I don't know if they're going to actually hurt her. Why no war? She's a captain at the moment, so I don't think her loyalty matters. It's really the penalty to relations. For 50 months, it's a long time. Okie dokies. Most populous civilizations. We are not here. It is the Navigators, the Terran Resistance, the Terran Alliance, and 2 other people that we know nothing of just yet. Back on Savo, we just got a siege ship. We're going to want at least 2 more, I think. We'll send you over here. Our freighter is that really all the distance you've covered? This is our 2nd freighter, never mind. All right, so we've sent the first off to go trading here. We would very much like to find a Terran home base, but maybe we trade with the Navigators a little bit because our first war is going to be here. We're also going to need to expand our ship range to at least be able to capture some territory. This might not be a terrible planet to have. It is a class 28 amazing. It looks like it's doing good stuff for the YOR, so if we can have it, would be great. We'd also get access to this guy, and there's another world over here. So I think the YOR first stop, this is going to be the major focus of our actual war. What could we do with this shipyard? Now that we have our 2 freighters, we can do some supply ships. We could start production on maybe just some fighters. We can have out a couple tiny ships in not too long. Some missile fighters. Fighter bombers or frigates. I think having a couple bombers might not be a bad idea. Our missile tech is pretty terrible. Missile range is long. Missile accuracy is pretty bad. But let's get some bombers up. We're gonna start the military production. Let us begin building a force that can contest the YOR. Scary people. Scary people. A Durantium cloud. Damn. Yeah, we want this. Kinetic attacks plus 10%. They don't seem like they have any military stuff just yet. There is something over here. You can sort of see this line going out. So there might be a base of some description. We'll see when we get there. We have to think of how we're going to increase our range. And it might be something like getting a better leader in our Minister of Exploration, who's really not that good. We want somebody with a high diligence in here. We don't have the cash. We really need some money. Money problems. All right. Next persons that we would like to find are the Terrans. They're probably somewhere up this way, I imagine. Maybe up in this corner. Your flagship captain reports discovering a lost cargo container adrift in space. Upon inspection, the container houses an advanced planetary defense module believed to be from a long-forgotten civilization. This mysterious device could prove invaluable to your empire by increasing a given planet's defense capabilities against invasion. We could sell this for $400 and that's going to keep us afloat for quite some time. So that's exactly what we're going to do. 2 months until we have our ship. Our very first trade route has landed. Let's go to the trade route screen. What is this doing for us? Trade route value of 4. Pretty good. We're the initiator, so we get 33%. Route length is +1. Route age, so these things increase with age. Very slowly, it looks like, because we've had this for a few turns now. We didn't create this one, but it's nice that it does increase over time anyway. That's pretty good. The navigators are coming in. They want my money. We're going to reject it. No, thank you, sir. We can always print money, but this really hurts your approval, so you're gonna want to not do that ever. All right. I feel like this is a bit ambitious. A first war might be better to go after the navigators on this planet, but it's only a class 1. This would also be a really good target to go after first, but the YOR are way more likely to go to war with us far more quickly than either of the other factions. So we're going to focus on maybe hurting them a little bit if we can. We can see they're already ramping up in the military. Their tech is way better than ours. Everything is way better than ours. That's just the AI in the early game. Okay, we have Interstellar Cabinet. We have a Minister of Justice position that we're not going to use. We have access to the Opulent Oversight System. Is a hilarious name. Choose a new tech. It's time to go back and start getting things that are going to help us win this war. Space weapons, for example. Anything that defensive studies. Subspace scanning is going to help us. It does give us a bit of ship range and sensor range. And seeing as we don't have the range to actually get to our opponents, we're going to go with subspace scanning. It's only 2 turns. Go ahead and land this trade ship as well. That'll help our relations and maybe stop things from declining as quickly, buying us a little bit more time while we conduct our affairs here. And it is time to pick up our command ship, the Lagerda, this ship. That's going to be a huge pickup. The Kilogrew is pretty good as well. So got a great name. Has a lot of weapons here. We've got missiles. We've got beam attacks. This ship, however, does not have any shields. It doesn't have any armor, whereas this ship does. But this ship has fighters and they're a pretty good screen. Let's go ahead and grab it. And now we have a bit of firepower. There is our huge ship, 344 HP. A dreadnought class even. Compare that to any other ship right now with 8 HP. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, we can't actually put any other ships in here until we get a bit more logistics, and we would like a couple more ships. But with that and a couple of the siege vessels, we may be ready to go to war as soon as we have the ship range, which is something that we would like to do. We also would like a couple more fighters before we get there. Planet report: the dark streets of Savo are plagued with robberies, assaults, and murder. Each day brings news of increasingly violent attacks with no relief or respite in sight. Lately, some victims have reported being saved by a mysterious vigilante who brutalizes criminals during the night. A few bodies of individuals known to the police have been found, branded with the sign of a winged moon. Citizens have begun calling him the Angel of Savo. All right. We'll call him the same. Order law enforcement to stay out of his way. We lose a bit of control and some crime. No one is above the law. Offer a bounty to capture him. We lose money, crime, but gain control. We're going to allow our winged vigilante here to continue. Even though it hurts our crime, there's enough to go around. We'll be fine. Love it. Absolutely love it. There is subspace scanning, giving us +2 ship range, almost in range. We need a new tech. We could go for even more ship range. Subspace streaming, that'll be in 2 turns. And I think we just bashed that out. So we do have that ship range, as we could probably afford a new governor, somebody who we could stick into our Minister of Exploration position to get the extra ship range that we need. We would need somebody with high diligence, like this guy here. I think we're just going to use our technology to get the ship range while we muster our forces. 1 more siege unit should be fine. Let's go ahead and station him over here. We are going to continue to print out bombers for the next little bit. You can all hang out in the planet. Yes, my friends, what would you like, Jenna? You're offering me nanites for credits. We're going to reject that. Now that we have the option for declare war, we can actually start to get a sense of people's relations. So if we say declare war on these guys, they distrust the YOR, they like the Terrans, and they like the other 2. So us going to war with the YOR should not negatively impact our relations with these people, and maybe we can get them on our side or even convince them to join the war as well when the time comes. Goodbye. And with that in mind, let's get our finger on the pulse of people's feelings towards the YOR as we prepare for that. So we want to trade, go to declare war. They don't have any feelings about the other 2. Maybe they haven't met, which would be a little bit weird. Let's think about you guys. What do you think about the YOR? They distrust them. They distrust everybody except us, which is great. Great news. Potential friends right here. We don't want to be too friendly with him as that'll piss off the humans. That's fine. We know what you guys think. And the navigators have stopped declining, thankfully, because we're trading and we can't actually see what they think because stupid navigators. Kind of a pain, but that's the navigators for you. We'll get around to dealing with them in due time. There was some resource down here that we missed. Sad. We would want one more constructor. This Durantium. We gotta have it. We gotta have it. Precursor artifact cache. Nice. Your flagship locates a hidden cache of precursor artifacts left behind by the ancient civilization. These artifacts are not only valuable but also hold clues to the advanced technologies of the precursors. We can get one Durantium, or we can add the artifact to the vault. Gives us inspire scientists an immediate plus 50 research. Well, you know what we're going to do? Take that plus 50 research and use it to speed through some of our military tech. That's going to be great. That's more than 1 turn's worth of science. Big deal. Big deal. I don't know if we want the Kilgrew. It might be a good idea. As it's there, we can just have it. I mean, you are not a bad... What the hell are you anyway? Are you a YOR? You are a YOR. Why are we able to recruit? Oh, you're a worm. I guess once you have a population, you'll start seeing leaders for those guys popping up, which is fine. 347. We just can't afford it. We just can't afford it. We'll have to wait on that. We also need food, but happily we have a food sort of colony planned. I was gonna build this into like a housing triangle, and I think I still might, but without good food adjacency, it's kind of lame. We just make a string of food things here. I really wanted to use all of this land for production to help the war efforts. We also have some tech stuff to build. Probably we should build all of that on Savo. Just actually use what land we have for a bit of tech until we get something more usable. I think that's what we're going to do once this queue has finished. We'll probably get the tech capital. It's only a +2, but that will improve over time. I don't love it. I was hoping to have a little bit better adjacency on our tech. But maybe once we grab this planet, we can do something with it. What are we defending with at the moment? We're still on frigates, but we may see something. Holy heck. They've got Gauss cannons, rockets, Helios rockets, lasers, evasion tech, all sorts of stuff. We're a bit behind in the military tech tree. The YOR definitely focusing in that direction. But we have a dreadnought, and they do not. Whoa, what are the cricketers doing in this game? I thought I just said more only core civilizations, but okay, here we are. We have the cricketers. This was a custom faction that I made. They are scary. They are more bloodthirsty than any other faction that is in the game. Let's hear what they have to say. So you're the Zolotsi. Rumors have reached us of your kind. We will soon see whether you are friend or enemy. We greet you with a hope for the future. There's subspace streaming, +1 move. Extra ship range. We're going to choose that new tech, and let's go for space weapons or defensive studies. Space weapons is here, so let's just grab that for 2 turns. We are going to pop our science to finish that off immediately. Choose a new tech. Let's go with defensive studies, as we need shields and armor, as well as all of these other policies for when we go to war. So this is a very important one for us. Okay, cricketers. Oh my god, we got the verse harmonizers as well. I was really just hoping for only vanilla people, but apparently a few of the custom factions that we made ages ago have crept into the game. Dear esteemed leader, as the resplendent melody of the cosmos, I, Melodious Starweaver, extend my harmonious greetings. With a symphony of silicon intellect, unwavering certainty, boundless empathy, and a pacifist spirit, the verse harmonizers seek to unite the stars in harmony. Let us compose a grand cosmic opus together. In harmony, Melodious Starweaver. We can work together. What are we up against here? I mean, the cricketers seem far enough away for us. We have the same values. That's right. We're both nihilistic. So potential ally with the cricketers. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and say open borders with these guys. Will they pay us anything for it? Offer unacceptable. They will give us 20 credits. We will accept. And we'll get around to the verse harmonizers in a bit. Now, the cricketers, surprisingly, we are stronger than them in terms of military power and faction power. How do we rank up against these guys? I think we have more military, but they're just better in almost every other regard. We're going to want to pull the trigger on this fairly soon. Back here, we're going to keep producing out bombers, building up our guys. We have a level up on the Discovery flagship, and it may not be a bad idea to start prepping this guy for war. Maybe give him some extra beam attacks. Although the extra HP could be good. We're going to go with beam attacks, so a little bit of extra attack. Since we do have Illyrium, not a bad idea. Your ship has stumbled upon a cargo hold lost in the vastness of space. It contains an advanced survey module, possibly from an ancient civilization. This module could be used to give an existing ship the ability to investigate anomalies. I don't really want that. 150 treasury isn't a lot, but that might be able to get us another leader for that warship that we have our eye on. Flagship probe right there coming out of the Terrans. Defensive studies, almost there. Do we have range? We are able to engage this planet at least in war, and I think it is time. Let's go ahead and grab our ships, see what forces we have to work with. We've got 2 siege vessels with another one about to pop. Let's get you guys over here. Our dreadnought will possibly lead the charge. And our tiny bomber army probably have to run escort for now. We have another ship over this way. I wouldn't mind leaving one on the defense. If we are going to go to war, we will want our flagships pulled off of those duties to come back and help with the war effort. So let's do that. The explorer over here, we will give extra movement to, and we're going to send him off in the opposite direction from the war and have him scan anomalies somewhere else away from the front lines. Hopefully keep him safe. And let's start the move out. Premature? Possibly. We'll see what we can do. But even if we're able to take out some of the YOR's army and just sort of soft contain them and get ready for the invasion. We have an invasion rating of 27. That's going to improve a little bit. What are we going to need to take over this planet? They've got a few ships on defense. It really comes down to whether they have like a military starbase or something. Speaking of, we are going to need some economic starbases and stuff just to help us develop a bit more, as well as our own military starbases. It's probably also a really good idea. Let's not take any chances. We're going to spend half our cash to get the leader, drop him into this ship as well, and get another pretty decent flagship. And we're going to want to keep these ships alive for as long as possible. Okay, we'll form up our own fleet around this guy. We could really use some extra logistics. How much logistics? We need to see a ship or something out of the YOR out in the open. We can see what sort of logistics they have to play around with. We'll keep an eye on it once we get a bit closer to enemy space. We're going to have a little chat with the YOR. There's our defensive studies. All plans are proceeding. Very good. Choose a new tech. Orbital manufacturing gives us a starport. Not bad, but we would like evasive tactics before ideally this war really kicks off. And to that end, I'm going to actually use pressure scientists to speed that up a little bit. Hopefully bring that number down just a touch, because this war is going to pop in the next couple turns. Our dreadnought's a bit slow, but as soon as he's in position, there's our other siege ship, and now we can probably get out some frigates, and that's looking a lot better. Shields, armor, still not amazing, but we have something. I believe the YOR are just still have stronger individual ships. Yeah, slightly stronger, but technology, military-wise, is starting to be on par. Let's go ahead and start linking up some of these invasion tactics in 1 month. That's primo. All right, we got another nihilistic trait. We could go for exploitation, exploit population, executive order. I don't know if we want that. Or moral relativism. Unlocks the communication starbase module relativistic ethics beacon. Nihilists on planets have their stats increased. All event choices give awareness into every ideology. That is interesting. I don't know what exploit population does for us. It is our duty to harness the labor and resources of weaker species, for their worth is only in serving us. Yeah. Of these two choices, I think possibly moral relativism is probably where we want to go. Probably, just in case we get some nihilists and having their stats increased could be useful to us. Exploitation, I mean, it might be useful. It might be useful. We're gonna take exploitation. Might be useful. What does it do? Is it useful? Find out. Exploit population. All planets output 200% for 5 months. Say what now? Gross income, influence, food, research, manufacturing, everything plus 200%, but only 5 months. But 5 months is a lot. That's a lot of extra stuff. How much does that cost to do? We are exploiting. That is 20 control. Okay, so control just became really important to us. I kind of wish we were setting up for more control. Let's go ahead and pop this on the eve of the war. We get to select any planet. It's going to be Savo. It's our best planet. at the moment, and we're just going to ramp up production on that. That's going to be disgusting. Oh my goodness. How often can we do that? What's the cooldown? 10 turns? So we get 5 turns of benefit, 5 turns of cooldown, and then we do it again. Jeez Louise. At least I hope that's how that works. Anyway, back on Alhena. We now have like tons of food. Excuse me. Oh, that's because 200%. Gotcha. Oh, okay. And housing. We got a housing. We're going to grow soon. I would like to keep the housing going, but I also need this planet to do something for us. And it's really a choice between whether we continue to just fill out with production to help the war effort, or go into something like Enforcer Dens. And it might be Enforcer Den. The Enforcer Den here is going to give us some adjacency bonuses, but it's also going to give us that control that just became extremely important to us. A planetary mainframe here, it's like this planet still does all right research. Like it's pretty good, all things considered. Even though we've built up manufacturing, it still has higher research. And there's a really good tile right here, +3 to research. You know, I think we gotta go research. We've got all right production. Let's throw this down here at least for that benefit, and then we'll make a decision on what happens next. Production here still really sucks at the end of the day, thinking that we have a supply depot, a planetary generator, these two guys. It's only 3.4, well, 8.4. And approval's looking good. Cash is positive because of that disgusting bonus that we got. Holy crap, that skill is powerful. How are we looking? Mostly everybody's okay with us. Things will probably change a little bit once we declare war on the YOR. I've got a frigate. We'll just wait until everything is situated here. We're also going to see quite a few ships get sped out. We, the YOR Singularity, have a long-standing tradition of games that test the true capabilities of one's physique and mental powers. For warm-up, your weak species would be well advised to provide some specimens for our warriors to practice on. Refuse the vile purpose. We are going to war after all, and I don't want that approval negative. So the YOR can do one, as far as I'm concerned. But just send this ship out anywhere. There's our evasive tactics. All of the pieces are in place for this war. We have our +5 evasion. We have ace policy that we can set for accuracy against fighters that we might use. It really depends on what the YOR have. We get to choose a technology, and actually when it comes to what the YOR have, very important point here, we're going to find out in just a second. We're going to get space weapons in 1 turn. We are going to speak with the YOR because it's time to find out what their toys are. Let's go down to their ships and have a look. They are fighters, a frigate that is a capital, a flagship, some probes. They've got a couple frigate flagships and mostly a couple more frigates here. So that's it. Seems like the entire bulk of their army of frigates and fighters. I don't think they have enough to stop our dreadnought. Let us get out another frigate. This is a gunboat. Do we want a gunboat or a defender is the question. This has beam attack and kinetic attacks, whereas this defender has beams and missiles and kinetics. I mean, the advisor is saying pick this, but I kind of like the attack of the attack. I kind of like the attack of. We're going to go with this one. See, maintenance 0. Why do we have a maintenance on one of those other fighters? Maybe it just says 0, but it actually means that it actually has. But whatever. We'll grab a defender. Time to marshal the forces. Back on Alhena. Continue with bomber production. Send them out to the front lines. And now it's time to cobble this lot together into some form of a military that can contest the YOR. Or at least to grab this planet. Possibly this if we get the ship range, but we don't. And over here we just have fighters defending. Frigates, they're frigates. Okay, shouldn't be an issue. Okay, that's the kill crew. We want you to have your own set of dudes. You're the siege, you go in that group. You're going over here, you're going over here. You're on the front lines. Perfect. Excellent, even. There's our weapon systems giving us some extra attacks, as well as Hunter. 25 attack against and 25 accuracy against frigates and corvettes. We might actually make use of that. Choose a new tech. It's still going to be military. Armored defense for 10% to armor, or we can start specializing down some particular weapon system. Experimental weapons, long shot operational ability, sniper operational ability, exotic energies. This is interesting, but not so interesting to me as something like energy deflection or armor defense. I think we're going to take armor defense theory. Probably armor defense helps us out in the short term. So let's pick that up. You're a flagship with no escort. Don't love that. Fall back. You're our front man. We'll probably take one of you guys out and just be a scout for us, just in case, because what the AI has a habit of doing is sending out a fleet to dive your siege vessels. And we're going to want to screen for that. Okay, I'm going to put you to auto explore over here. No, don't go over that way. That's the bad direction. I'm just going to send you deep over this way and be busy. Be busy. Okay, you're waiting for all of the forces to come up, and then we pull this here trigger. You're a siege. You go in there. Beautiful. Hello. There's a tiny fighter in our midst. Do we kick the war off right here, right now? It's all a question of whether or not we have enough siege to actually start taking over this planet. That's the thing. That's the big question. But I mean, there's a free fighter pick-off right here. This fighter, however, has no attack. He must have gotten this as a reward for something, possibly as a tech unlock, going out to do some surveying. But in any case, we've been scouted, so I think it's time we have a little chit-chat with the YOR. They are still technically way more strong than us, but I think we have more military power, if I'm reading that correctly. Let's speak to him. The time has come to destroy you. Yes, you heard me. Alrighty, brand new to Warlords is what are our war aims. Select your war aims carefully to create a rationale for your actions in the eyes of both your citizens and the larger galactic community. However, exercise caution, as the longer the conflict endures, the greater the negative repercussions it can bring to your civilization and your relationships with other civilizations. This is going to be a war of defense, I believe. Possibly a war of expansion. A moderate length war with the intent to expand borders and spread influence. It's kind of what we're doing. Declaring a war of expansion results in diplomatic penalties. A short-term war with the intent to preempt aggression and protect borders. Declaring a war of defense carries minor diplomatic penalties. We will become a aggressive neighbor. This is a -1 diplomacy with all civilizations for declaring this war. A minor reputation gained by declaring a war of defense that affects diplomacy. Galactic threat. -3, clear and present danger, -4. Oof. Might have been better to just prepare for the war and let the YOR declare war on us to avoid these penalties, but we're here now and we're going to be a war of defense. So let's declare this. That's going to be a done deal. You're going in there. The kill grew will just get this killed. Super easy. Easy peasy. Get you guys together. Keep you back. We'll build up a secondary force on this guy, I think. Yeah, let's move the Dreadnought forward and see what's going on with Marshall over here. Start picking off some of their military if we can. Also use our scout because that's what he's there for. The sacrifice. All right, he's building a constructor. Good time to get in there. That'll swap to military fairly soon. No military starbase. That is good news for us. There's a fighter over here. The good news is our gunboat corvette can take on his fighter. Back on Savo. Yes, it's another frigate. A defender. March you to the front lines. Over on Alhena, the military keeps getting printed until this war is out. The Terrans are here asking for money. That is a no. Sorry, sir. I do like you guys, but I need my cash. We still have some space here. We have 4 logistics to play around with. And this has a logistics of 6. That's a no-no, but I would like this to be full at least. The cruiser should be fine on his own, but I don't want to take any chances. I think we hold position right here for now. Let's maybe reposition you guys a bit closer. There's the armored defense theory just in time. We got to choose a new tech and also make some changes to our government. We're probably going to go for the Avenger missile system next. Although I don't think we have a lot of missile guys. What does this Dreadnought have? It has kinetic attacks. So it might be a good idea to go for kinetic attacks. In fact, most of our ships have kinetic attacks. So let's get railguns. Unlock it. We need to go into our government over here and switch around some policies. We're going to rip out, look the other way possibly, and throw in prototype defenses for the +2s that it gives us. We'll probably also take out the Genius Grant and throw in shipyard stimulus. Defensive measures is something that we might want as well, but we actually need every bit of ship range that we can get. Starship specifications would also be good. The extra 20% HP could go a long way in this war, but I think it's unnecessary. We'll leave it as is for now. Let's start moving in. back on Savo. Give us another defender. They're starting up a treasure hunt. You know you're at war, right? We are coming for you. And the question we have to ask is, can our assault fleet actually lay siege to this planet? So if we did something like this, we can conquer it. It would take 7 months. So that's good news. We can actually get in this war, take over our objective or objectives, end the war, having claimed a little bit of land, stolen some territory from the YOR, and maybe contain them a little bit, doing the galaxy a big service because they're jerks. They're big jerk faces. Might be worth it to just take over this minor world as well while we're at it. We'll see. Just march in here. This moderate casualties refers to our fighters. Has nothing to do with our stuff. He'll take a total loss, and that'll be the end of these 3 ships that he has. We get a level. That is beautiful stuff. We're going to go with extra HP from crew quarters. Get that upgrade in. This planet is now ripe for the pickings. We'll send our scout deeper and bring you guys up. Kilogrew is almost ready. And I'm just going to add you in here because I want these guys involved in any fighting. That'll do. And I think the war is off to a pretty good start. And that's probably where we're going to end this episode. Oh god, is that cricket? That is cricket. It is cricket 4, which means cricket 1 is somewhere over here. Oh god, cricket scares me. Cricket scares me. These guys are horrifying. He has a cruiser, Herald of Ruin. It is also a siege ship, so this thing can probably take over planets on its own. Oh my god. Yeah, we don't want. We made war, so people are going to dislike us a little bit. How long do we keep this penalty for? Is that a forever thing? God, I hope not. But anyway, that's where we're going to end this episode. We've just slapped the YOR in the face, and we're going to see how this plays out. I think we're in a fairly strong position when it comes to this war. We have more ships than them, but they have more power than us. They've got possibly better tech than us, a stronger economy, but our production is pretty good, our ability to manufacture. And once we take over this planet, we're going to have a lot more to work with. But we don't want to be too aggressive, right? We want to manage our relationships and only really take fights when we absolutely have to. This war was coming eventually, so we are preempting this war. We are absolutely justified in our actions. They covered our world. We have too much spine, whatever that means. I think it's because we turned down one of their things. This war was going to happen. No two ways about it. Everybody else, I think we should be able to manage our relations. We are a warmonger. A little bit. So currently, we are the only person at war at the moment. It is the only war on with the YOR. But again, I think most people don't like the YOR, so we should be totally fine. Thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. Remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.